Look at this New York Yankees team, and you start wondering if we're even watching professional baseball anymore. These are athletes getting paid millions of dollars, playing at the highest level, and yet somehow every single day on the field looks like a lesson in how not to play the game. Basic mistakes, mental lapses, throwing to the wrong base, missing cutoffs, defensive assignments not covered. And you sit there thinking, how is this allowed to happen at this level? How is it that a team of so-called professionals can look so lost, so lifeless, so careless? It's not a single game. It's a pattern. It's a habit. It's a culture problem that's bleeding out into everything. And the worst part is, it's consistent. You watch them against a top-tier team, a team that knows how to play fundamental baseball, and it's embarrassing. They get outclassed. They get embarrassed. They get absolutely humiliated. And yet, every day, it's the same story. You think maybe it was just a bad day, maybe it's a fluke, maybe they'll figure it out, but no. It's every game against a good opponent. Every time. And Aaron Judge says, we have to play better. Yeah, no kidding. Stop talking to us like we're all oblivious here. We see it. We feel it. And the frustration isn't just as fans watching at home. It's watching a team that should be a powerhouse fall apart piece by piece in ways that are so avoidable, so unnecessary, that it hurts to witness. Mistakes that should never happen at this level are happening constantly. And what's worse is when you try to make sense of the lineup decisions, the playing time, the rotations, it's all chaos. You have players who go on hot streaks, hitting multiple home runs in a week, and the next day, they're on the bench. Others are supposedly reliable defensively, and suddenly they're committing blunders like they've never picked up a glove in their life. There's no logic, no continuity, no sense of accountability. You're left staring at the box score thinking, how is this allowed to happen? And the in-game decisions, don't get me started. You see it over and over. The manager making choices that make zero sense. The lineup shuffling that leaves you wondering if anyone actually knows what's going on. The analytics guys in the background, the assistants, the consultants, maybe they're smart, maybe they know the numbers, but when the result on the field is this sloppy, this inconsistent, it doesn't matter. Numbers don't play the game for you. Fundamentals do. And the Yankees right now look like a team that's completely abandoned fundamentals. Every throw-off target, every missed tag, every base not covered, it's a cumulative demonstration of what happens when talent exists but discipline, focus, and effort are optional. Then you look at their performance against good teams. This is where the shame sets in. Against top-tier pitching, smart lineups, disciplined hitters, the Yankees disappear. They cannot compete. They cannot impose themselves. They're overmatched, outplayed, and outcoached in ways that are not just disappointing. They're demoralizing. And every fan watching this play out knows it. Every single fan sees the pattern, the mistakes, the poor execution, the missed opportunities, and it's maddening. Yet the message from the team seems to be, don't worry, we'll get past this, it's fine, we're angry, but it's okay. That's the level of denial we're dealing with. They're not fine. They're not okay. They're losing to better teams in ways that are hard to watch, and nobody seems to be owning up to it. The frustration is compounded by the lack of consistency in the lineup. You see a player like Anthony Volpe, who flashes brilliance for a week, 7 home runs, a solid streak. And then suddenly he disappears from effectiveness entirely. His bat doesn't carry his glove isn't holding up his bat, and somehow people still talk about his potential like it excuses the ongoing failure. And the truth is, there are others in the same boat. Players who should be everyday starters are benched inexplicably, while others who don't earn the role keep getting chances. And the result is a revolving door of mediocrity. You have a team with so much talent, so many high-profile athletes, yet the execution is amateurish at best. Every series against a strong opponent feels like watching a high school team face off against college players. It's painful. And let's be honest, it's not just the mistakes, it's the attitude. Watching them gives the impression that they aren't playing with urgency, with passion, with pride. The energy is off. The focus is off. And in baseball, at the highest level, every pitch matters. Every defensive alignment matters. Every swing matters. Yet this team seems completely disconnected from mistakes, as if winning isn't a priority, as if effort is optional. And it's not a one-off issue. It's every game, every inning, every moment where they're facing a challenge and faltering spectacularly. Fans feel it too. You pay top dollar for tickets, you sit through the hype, you expect to see excellence, you expect to witness the pinnacle of the sport. And what you get instead is frustration, disappointment, and embarrassment. You start to wonder if it's even worth it anymore. Games that should be thrilling become exercises in frustration. Watching the Yankees against mediocre or strong opponents, you experience the full range of emotions, from hope and a brief hot streak to crushing despair when the mistakes pile up and the scoreboard reflects failure. It's exhausting, and it's unacceptable at this level of professional sports. And then there's the playoffs. That's where it really matters. You can squeak by against weaker teams in the regular season and pretend that everything is fine, but the postseason is another story. That's where Boston, Houston, Detroit, Toronto, the teams that matter, are waiting. And watching this Yankees team, with its lack of discipline, its lack of focus, its sloppy execution, you have zero confidence that they could survive a serious playoff series. The inconsistencies in hitting, the defensive lapses, the poor in-game management, it all compounds into a nightmare scenario. Against good teams, this Yankees squad does not inspire confidence. Not in the least. And the worst part? They seem oblivious to it themselves. Every day is the same story. Every game is a repeat of the last, and nothing is changing. Aaron Judge says they have to play better. Yes, we get it. Everyone sees it. But saying it isn't enough. Words won't fix this. Accountability won't appear on its own. Discipline doesn't grow magically. And until this team starts taking ownership, until they start executing, until they stop making basic laughable mistakes, fans are stuck watching a train wreck in slow motion. It's infuriating. It's maddening. And it's a daily reminder that talent without discipline is meaningless, that potential without effort is wasted, and that a team that should be a model of excellence can instead be a cautionary tale in front of millions of eyes. And yet, somehow, every single day, it feels like this team is stuck in a cycle of mediocrity that refuses to break. You watch these Yankees lineups, and it's as if nobody has been told the rules of professional baseball. Players out of position, batters not seeing pitches properly, base runners making mental errors, and somehow, this keeps happening at the highest level of the sport. Take the pitching, for example. When facing top-tier hitters, you'd expect discipline, execution, strategy. But instead, you see missed locations, predictable patterns, walks at the worst possible times, and runs scored that shouldn't even exist. It's not just bad luck. It's poor execution, poor preparation, and a lack of accountability. And it's relentless. It's like watching a team that's learned nothing from previous failures, a team that thinks excuses will suffice in the face of repeated embarrassment. The Red Sox, the Astros, teams that understand the game and play with precision, expose the weaknesses of these Yankees on a daily basis. And the response? Words. Empty reassurances. We'll bounce back. It's fine. We're getting better. No, you're not. Not yet. Not if the same mistakes continue to pile up every inning, every game, every series. And the offense? It's maddening. You see streaks, sparks of potential, and then the fire disappears. The team can go multiple games without producing runs against a strong pitching staff. Then suddenly they score 10 runs against a mediocre opponent, and people start talking about momentum. Momentum doesn't matter if you can't produce consistently. Scoring 10 runs in one game doesn't erase the weeks of underperformance that left fans shaking their heads in disbelief. And it's not just the hitters, it's the approach. The mental errors, the lack of situational awareness, the inability to move runners to execute in high-pressure moments. Baseball is a game of inches, of timing, of discipline, and yet this Yankees squad consistently fails to deliver in the moments that define a season. Defensively, the problems are equally frustrating. You have players who should be anchors, who should be reliable, who should make routine plays look easy, and instead they're inconsistent, error-prone, and completely incapable of maintaining focus for an entire game. The mental lapses are breathtaking. missed cutoffs, fielders forgetting their responsibilities, throwing to the wrong base, leaving double plays unfinished. Every single miscue adds up, not just in the box score, but in the morale of the team, the confidence of the pitchers, and the patience of the fans. And it's happening against professional opponents, not little league teams. This is supposed to be Major League Baseball, the pinnacle of the sport, and yet the level of execution is embarrassingly amateurish. Then there's the management. Lineup decisions that defy logic, inconsistent playing time for players who are producing, and over-reliance on analytics that clearly aren't translating to wins on the field. Aaron Boone may be the manager, but it seems like he's handcuffed, restricted, or simply ineffective. He's making decisions based on reports, charts, and statistical models that may look good on paper but fail spectacularly in practice. When a player is hot, he's benched. When a player is struggling, he's kept in the lineup. There's no rhythm, no flow, no clarity in how this team is guided. And the result is predictable: frustration, mistakes, and losses against opponents who are executing at a level far beyond what the Yankees display. It's heartbreaking to watch because this is supposed to be a team that sets the standard, a team that inspires, a team that dominates, a team with the history, the tradition, and the talent to be elite. And yet, here we are, watching a team that fails to execute on the most basic levels. A team that looks out of sync, out of focus, and outclassed against anyone worth playing. Fans are left with a choice: either accept the mediocrity or watch in disbelief as the team repeatedly disappoints. And make no mistake, it's not just the fans. Analysts, commentators, former players, all of them can see the glaring issues. And here's the brutal truth: talent alone cannot fix this. You can have the most gifted hitters, the strongest arms, the fastest legs, but without focus, discipline, preparation, and consistency, it all falls apart. And right now, that's exactly what we're seeing. The Yankees are a cautionary tale in how talent without execution can crumble. You watch them against weak teams, and they look competent. You watch them against strong teams, and they implode. There is no middle ground. There is no stability. And that's the scariest part because it's not temporary. It's not an isolated stretch. It's a recurring pattern, one that shows a complete lack of accountability, preparation, and mental toughness. Every game becomes a test of patience for fans. Every inning becomes a reminder that history, tradition, and resources cannot substitute for focus and execution. Every mistake, every mental lapse, every missed opportunity is magnified because this is supposed to be the pinnacle of the sport, and yet what we're witnessing is chaos, inconsistency, and amateurish execution. And the frustration compounds because there's no sign that it's going to change. The streaks of competence are too brief. The mistakes are too frequent. The lack of leadership, accountability, and clarity is too glaring. And as the postseason approaches, the stakes only get higher, the opposition only gets tougher, and the cracks that have been ignored all season are going to be exposed in the harshest way possible. And that is the nightmare scenario. Watching a team with so much potential, so much talent, and yet seeing it squandered day after day, inning after inning by mental errors, bad decisions, and lack of effort. The fans, the analysts, the players themselves, they all know it. But knowing doesn't fix it. Observing doesn't improve it. And until something fundamental changes in the way this team approaches the game, we're stuck watching a cycle of embarrassment that refuses to end. Every fan sitting in the stadium, every viewer at home, every baseball purist witnessing this knows exactly what's happening. And the worst part is, it's preventable. All of it is preventable with focus, discipline, and accountability. But instead, we get excuses, empty words, and a continued display of what happens when talent exists but commitment does not. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Michael Kay, the longtime voice of the Yankees, reportedly ignited a firestorm of speculation among fans and insiders alike after offering what many are calling a sharp critique of the team's current performance. According to sources close to the broadcaster, Kay's comments were not merely casual observations, but pointed remarks suggesting a deeper concern with the way the Yankees are approaching both strategy and player development. The murmurs within the sports community indicate that Kay questioned managerial decisions, roster construction, and the overall direction of the franchise, sparking conversations that now dominate social media channels and sports talk shows. Rumors have spread quickly, suggesting that some players may be privately reacting to Kay's words, whether with defensiveness or introspection, though no formal response has been confirmed. Analysts speculate that his criticism could influence public perception and even fan sentiment, potentially pressuring the front office to consider adjustments, though the exact impact remains uncertain. Within the sports broadcasting community, the idea that Michael Kay would openly critique the Yankees has sent ripples through both media circles and fan forums, raising questions about what prompted such candid observations at this moment. Insiders suggest that Kay may have been reacting not only to recent losses or strategic missteps, but also to a broader pattern of inconsistency in the team's performance, particularly in high-stakes games where expectations have historically been high. Rumors suggest that internal discussions, perhaps among former players, analysts, or even within the Yankees organization, may have influenced the tone of his critique, adding layers to the narrative that fans are eagerly dissecting. Conversations online now speculate about which specific managerial choices, trades, or player habits might have triggered his remarks, with some commentators pointing to high-profile acquisitions or overlooked developmental priorities as potential targets. The buzz suggests that Kay's reputation for directness lends weight to his critique, elevating what might otherwise be dismissed as casual commentary into a statement capable of influencing the discourse surrounding the Yankees. Even casual observers have begun to theorize that this public critique could subtly affect ticket sales, merchandise interest, or even team morale, though none of these effects can yet be confirmed, making every game a subject of heightened scrutiny. The rumor mill surrounding Michael Kay's critique has intensified as sports talk programs dissect every syllable, interpreting his tone, word choice, and historical context to project possible consequences for the Yankees. Sources hint that Kay's observations were carefully chosen, potentially reflecting insider knowledge of internal frustrations or long-standing concerns about the organization's decision-making processes. The chatter suggests that his comments may spark broader debates among former Yankees players, coaches, and analysts, each weighing in on whether the criticism is fair or exaggerated. Social media platforms have become a fertile ground for speculation, as fans debate which aspects of a team's performance are most vulnerable to scrutiny and how Kay's credibility as a broadcaster enhances the significance of his remarks. Rumors imply that some Yankees personnel might privately acknowledge elements of truth in his critique, while others may view it as an unwelcome intrusion into team dynamics. This duality between perceived legitimacy and provocative commentary fuels the ongoing narrative, creating a scenario in which every lineup announcement, trade rumor, or managerial decision is instantly examined through the lens of Kay's statements. As insiders continue to weigh in, the conversation evolves rapidly, demonstrating how one public critique can reverberate through multiple layers of professional sports discourse and fan engagement. Speculation surrounding Michael Kay's critique also touches on the potential long-term effects on the Yankees' public image, with sources indicating that the organization may feel pressure to respond in some form, either officially or through subtle adjustments in communications. The rumor network suggests that front office executives, aware of the widespread attention his commentary has garnered, may be considering strategic messaging, media appearances, or internal conversations aimed at addressing or counteracting perceived criticism. Meanwhile, fans have become increasingly vocal, debating not only the validity of Kay's statements, but also what they imply about the culture and direction of the team. Analysts speculate that his reputation for candid commentary could embolden other media figures to voice similar observations, further amplifying the scrutiny on management and players alike. The ongoing buzz implies a complex interplay between media influence, public perception, and organizational response, with a simple act of critiquing performance can cascade into a broader narrative with tangible consequences for morale, reputation, and stakeholder confidence. As whispers continue to circulate, the story takes on a life of its own, transforming a single critique into a multi-layered saga that stretches from locker rooms to boardrooms and across fan communities worldwide, with every passing headline contributing to the ever-expanding conversation. The latest wave of speculation, driven by Michael Kay's pointed remarks about the Yankees, has reportedly intensified internal and external dialogue surrounding the team, with rumors suggesting that some individuals close to the franchise are weighing both the potential impact and the possible truth embedded in his observations. Media insiders indicate that such critiques often act as catalysts, prompting reflection on leadership choices, player performance, and organizational priorities, even if they are initially received as provocative or controversial. Fans and commentators alike are dissecting each aspect of Kay's commentary, theorizing which elements are grounded in fact versus opinion, and speculating on potential ripple effects on team cohesion, fan sentiment, and public narrative. According to persistent whispers circulating in sports circles, the critique could also influence future media coverage, as journalists and analysts seek to explore angles suggested by Kay's observations, creating a self-reinforcing loop of attention and analysis. As the discourse grows, the interplay between rumor, perception, and potential organizational response continues to deepen, illustrating how a single public critique can evolve into a complex narrative affecting every level of the franchise. Whether this scrutiny will result in measurable change or simply fuel conversation remains uncertain, but the ongoing dialogue underscores the power of vocal critique in shaping the perception of one of baseball's most storied organizations. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.